I gotta pay this. Alright. So stream y'all don't be playing around. Alright, what's going on? What's going on? Purple City Gang. Alright, I'm your host Shakes, and this is Purple Pain Podcast. And my co-host King Pope, he should be here joining us shortly. But y'all, I couldn't even get the damn intro on and nothing, bro. They wildin' me. Anyway, today's episode is about this goddamn loss to these damn Lions, man, and what we got going forward. Now, my first take is this. Before I let my boy get his opening, my first take is this: it's always these big games that seem to bite us in the ass. Every time it's these big games, we seem to come up short, whether it's by a toe, you know what I'm saying, a field goal, doesn't matter. We seem to always come up with these disappointing losses in these big games. Detroit, they wanted their lick back bad, and you can tell. But even with them wanting their lick back, we still should have won the game. It takes for the third straight game a Henry fumble, and to see his frustration on the sideline was not only funny, it was very funny. But it's sickening to the just to the point of you are a Hall of Fame running back. A Hall of Fame running back. And for a guy that's supposed to be or considered a Hall of Famer to come up with these blunders like that, like you should know better. Now, one time, okay. Two times, it's like, oh man, that's some bad luck. But three times, bro, it's on you, man. What's going on? So go ahead, King Pope. I'm gonna let you go ahead and with your opening. How you feel about this game?
So to me, this game was exactly what I stressed about last week. I stressed last week that we really didn't know who this defense was. Well, today we know who this defense is. I stressed last week that the offensive line needed to show up because I felt like we had issues. Well, guess what? We got issues on the offensive line. All these things that I had concerns about that I talked about last week on the podcast has came fruition. The problem with this team is that you have so much talent in certain areas that I believe the talent is not at the same level of where they supposed to be anymore. I don't think you have the same Roquan Smith that you got when you traded for him 2, 3 years ago. I don't think you definitely have an issue on the offensive line because your offensive line is just not what it's just not there. And I don't think it's gonna get any better as the season go on. I think the only thing that you can be grateful for is that you have a mobile quarterback and he knows how to get out of the pocket. So with that being said, I hate to say it, but Lamar's gonna have to be a little bit more Superman style with this offensive line because now you're gonna have to run more with his legs in order to make defenses play you differently to say, okay, hold on, we can't either we're gonna let Lamar throw on us or we're gonna let him run. Because right now Lamar was just holding the ball to try to throw because he's in the mindset of he wants to throw the ball because he's a quarterback and he's still in that mode of proving it that he's a quarterback and putting up those type of numbers. But now Lamar's gonna have to get into the stage of, you know what? I'm just gonna have to start running and taking off. So he's gonna have to do chunk plays with his legs in order for this offense to continue to move. So I still believe the offense is still going to be great because I believe that Lamar will just change his game style play and start to run more to allow the offense to open up more. Because to me, if he would have ran more in that Detroit game instead of trying to weave through traffic and try to make a play, it would have been better for the offense. And I think they would have been able to put more points up that way. But the glaring, concerning issue of all is this defense. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know or foresee this defense getting any better. And I'm going to be honest, if this defense don't get any better, this Raven football team could probably win either 9 or 10 games this year. It ain't gonna be no more than that. If this defense continues to play like they played on Monday night, there is no way that this team has the ability to go into the playoffs to win a Super Bowl. It could be possible that they would miss the playoffs because of this defense. This defense is so weak, and they lack the aggressiveness of a regular Ravens defense, that this will be the killer of the team. The offense will not be your issue any longer. It's going to be what defense is going to show up on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. Because one week when you played the Browns, you had a world star defense. When you played against Buffalo, you had a terrible defense. When you played against Detroit, you had a terrible defense. So what defense are you going to get every week? And that's the glaring issue of this entire team. Don't get me wrong. Derrick Henry, the fumble was bad. It was at a crucial moment and a bad timing. But at the same time, the defense is the worst part of this football team. And if they can't fix it, this team will not be a playoff team and definitely will not be a Super Bowl team. Guaranteed.
That's crazy, man, that you said that. I don't totally disagree though, because one of the things I always say in my philosophy, I don't give a fuck, bro. I understand the direction of how the league has went. I get it. I understand. Especially in the regular season, it will get you where you need to go. As far as what I mean by that, just to let people know, just the air raiding out, the off, you know what I mean, high power offense, you know what I'm saying? That could get you to where you need to go as far as to the playoffs. But when you get to them playoffs, when you get to those playoffs, you have to have three things, in my opinion. This is my philosophy. All right. You have to have three things. You have to have a strong nose defense. Have to have a strong nose defense. You have to be able to stop these offenses that made it to the playoffs, right? You have to have a strong nose defense. You have to have a running game because you have to keep the ball out of the hands of these high power offenses, right? So, time of possession, run the ball. You have to have a run game. Okay, that's two. And then my third one is always the big M, momentum. Okay, you get those three things, and it will take you to the Super Bowl, and you can win it all, and all that good stuff. But if you don't have those things, when it comes to playoffs time, you're going to choke every time. Every time. So when you say what you just said, where you just said you don't even know if these guys can win 9 games this way. Now I disagree with that. I think you can get 10 or 11 just with the high power offense, like you said, the mobile quarterback. They won't be able to stop him. A lot of teams can't. They can't keep up with that type of offense. So you're gonna win more games than you think. But again, when it comes down to playoff time, when it comes down to can you keep these high power offenses off the field? And you could score 40, but that other team could score 42. And that's the problem with the Baltimore Ravens losing by toes and shit. All right? So I totally understand and agree with you on that. But man, This defense is upsetting, bro. It is very upsetting. And just hearing the news of Matabuke might be out for 4 to 6, even maybe even longer, that really hurts because our pass rushing is doo doo. I mean, doo doo. Well, it's always bad when a guy like in his older 30s, 40s that wasn't no big name like Calais Campbell, nobody like that. And I'm not trying to disrespect oh boy, what's the dude I'm thinking about from the Patriots that's on our team?
Kyle Van
That,
Noy.
yeah, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Led the team in sacks. Now, definitely great. You know what I mean? Because an experienced guy can do that. But why is that old man the guy that's leading your team in sacks? You
I
should have
just
some young bull out there racing with him to lead the league in sacks. No, that's terrible, bro. Pass rushing is garbage.
I believe that even though Madubuike is out for about 4 to 6, that does not change the complexion of this defense. That does not change the pass rush of this defense neither. Madubuike does not change the pass rush of this defense. Between 99, 90, and 45, neither one of them could get pass rush. And don't get me wrong, Mike Green, 45, you're a rookie, you're learning. But watching the tape, Penny Sewell owned you all night. He looked, I'm gonna be honest with you, 45 looked weak. He looked like his pass rushing moves are undeveloped. It looked like he was trying to bull rush a big man that he was definitely undersized on, that he was not that he was unable to move. And then when he did try to make his movements, he looked very slow. He looked tired. He just looked a little defeated. On the other side, we drafted 99 years ago from Penn State who didn't have the sack production. He had the pressure production, but he didn't have sack production. The same person that you drafted from Penn State is the same person that you have in Baltimore. You guys believe that you could develop this guy, and this guy has not developed into being anything. So that's why you're so dependent on a Kyle Van Noy, because you don't have a true pass rusher. You don't have one at all. It just hurts your team completely. That's why the Ravens said, you know what? We know our pass rush not good, so we just gonna load up on corners and safeties. So that's why you got your Jair Alexander and your Marlon Humphreys and your Malachi Starks and your Kyle Hampson. But guess what? They ain't working out neither right now. They trying to catch up to the run game, which y'all getting defeated on. That's why I say when I look at this schedule, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's hard to pick them to win more than 9 games when you look at the schedule. They played Buffalo and they played Detroit. Two offenses that's pretty much high powered. The Cleveland Browns offense is not high powered. You're going to go into Kansas City this week to play a good offense. You're playing against Patrick Mahomes, a great quarterback. It's going to be hard to defend to beat that. Not only that, you turn around, you play the Texans, you might can catch them because they're struggling right now. But guess who comes in right after the Texans? You got Matthew Stafford with the Rams. I don't see them beating Matthew Stafford and the Rams neither. And you also come keep going down the schedule, they got the Bears. That's going to be a challenging football game too, because Caleb Williams is playing some darn good football, and the Bears is going to be coming to play. Now your Miami game, the Minnesota game going to be tough because Minnesota played good defense, so that could go either way. And then you got the Browns again, the Jets, and then here come the Bengals and the Steelers. So my thing is, when I keep looking at this schedule, it's tough to give them more than 10 wins if this defense don't wake up. And that's why I said last week when I said Shakes, they gotta stop doing so much talking and actually do so much and more playing on the field. These guys, this era of and then the thing that I when I listened to earlier today where Kyle Hamilton was talking to the media and he said that the Ravens fans were spoiled because we're so used to winning. We're not spoiled. We want what we want. When you think about Baltimore, you think about great defense. You think about Ed Reed. You think about Ray Lewis. You think about Terrell Suggs. I'm not holding you to that level to be those guys. But what I am holding you to be is to be accountable and to play great defense. And that's what they don't do. They struggle in that department of playing great defense. So when you come to us and say that we're spoiled fans, how are we spoiled? Have you won anything? Did you win a Super Bowl? Are you like the Kansas City Chiefs where they won 3 Super Bowl rings? Have you done anything since you've been in this league, Kyle? What have you won to make me feel like I'm spoiled? No, what you have done, you guys have went out there and put a mask over our faces telling us that you're great when you're not great and it doesn't show on the field. So when you come out in the media and say that about to the fans, that's like throwing dirt in our face. You guys are not playing well. And we've seen that for 2 weeks. The only reason why you got to pass with the Browns game because it's the Browns. But again, like I said, it all comes down to when they play teams that have good offenses and know how to move the football on them. And to me, it's proven that they're not good enough to play against these high powered good offenses. That's why I say those games like the Rams and the Chief games, they worry me. I don't think they're going to be able to stop these teams at all. And that's the issue with me with them right now. They're not good enough to play that on defense. And now you're saying Matt BK is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, guess what? Broderick Washington's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks too because he's on the injury report. They put both of them on IR. And that's two defensive tackles that you had on your defensive line. So now your run defense just got a little bit more weaker. So I just don't know what this team's about to look like for the next 6 weeks.
Man, oh my gosh, bro. All right, look, I get it, yo, but we gotta just beat up on these teams we supposed to beat up on. Like right now, we'll figure it out how to win these big games, pause. But yeah, man, the teams we supposed to win, we gotta go ahead and just go ahead and win, bro. Cause these goddamn games here, bro, it's just too close for comfort. It's just too close for comfort. Now, I want to ask you, man, how you feeling about Derrick Henry's fumbling, man? What, like, what's your take on this?
So it is an issue. It is an issue. But you know what also is a part of the issue of him fumbling? The part of the issue of him fumbling too, it's the offensive line too. Week one, when he fumbled that football, guess why he fumbled that football? Because somebody missed their blocks and the guy came right in and they was able to attack him and knock the ball out. Now I'm not saying that he shouldn't have held onto the football, but at the same time too, Derrick Henry is a downhill running type of running back, right? So the biggest scouting report on Derrick Henry is don't let him get started. You beat him to the punch before he starts to get downhill on you. The play last week against Detroit, they got him in the backfield and they punched the ball out. The offensive line is not the same offensive line from last year that could downhill run block and bulldoze and run over these guys and be able to open up these massive holes that you're looking for. The two fumbles that were crucial with the Buffalo and the Detroit game, it was so much penetration that came in the backfield on Derrick Henry that he was unable to do anything. Now, yes, he should be able to hold the football, and I believe that he needs to really work on that, and it's concerning. But at the same time, too, it's more concerning that the offensive line are getting blown off and cannot hold their blocks. And then not only that, my question is too, why the biggest problem for me is with John Harbaugh is you have a healthy Keaton Mitchell and he's a scratch every week. You need a change of a pace running back. You got Derrick Henry that runs downhill, downhill, downhill. You need a speed option running back, which is Keaton Mitchell. Why is he always undressed every week? And then the biggest myth is you keep saying it's not a spot for him on Sundays, so that's why he's not playing. That is I don't understand how that's not no space for him to play out there. When you have a tight end that you use as a blocking fullback who's not a great blocker because you don't have Patrick Carr, so you bring this practice squad guy off, and he's not even doing good. So that's Keaton Mitchell's spot that you take it, which you could change the pace with Keaton Mitchell as a more speed back to get away from some of these tackles. So I just feel like they need more of a change of pace at running back. And also the offensive line is it's got to play better. Shakes it's not good, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's really bad. If you watch the tape on these guys are not blocking, man. They're not blocking.
Yeah, I'm noticing that that offensive line is not doing what they was doing last year. Um, and you got a specific reason for that, or what? What are you thinking?
So so when I look at the offensive line, and I remember I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago they drafted Daniel Falele, right? And when they drafted Daniel Falele, the biggest problem I had with him was I said, yeah, he's a massive man, right? But the problem with him was he did not move his feet well. So that's the reason why he plays guard and not tackle because his feet don't move well, right? So, okay, your feet don't move well, so I'm gonna move you in and I'm gonna put you at guard. But as big as you are, I expect you to be able to run through these guys on the inside. You standing at like 6'8", like 350 or 60 pounds, as big as you are. But what I noticed with him is he gets beat with speed. So what happens is what teams do is they put their speed guys on the inside on him, and the speed guys come to him, hit him with a little hand just to move him out the way, and boom, they already got past him because they so much quicker than him. Whereas though Daniel Falele need to get his hands locked on you. So once he gets locked on you, then he can drive you the way he wants to. But if he don't get his hands on you, it's wraps. So the biggest problem is that he's not getting on there. And then also when he misses his blocks, he doesn't find the next man to go get. It's like you miss the one block in front of you, right? But you don't try to go and block another person. You just stand there looking around where it's like it's no one else to block. So then by the time all this is happening, Lamar is trying to run around to get through stuff, and you're in the way. You're not blocking no one, you're just standing there. So he starts. So you gotta remember, as an offensive line, y'all work in unison. Y'all work together. If everybody makes the correct blocks from the offensive line, the offense moves in a certain way. If one offensive lineman messes up on that play, the whole play gets blown up. But see, the difference is, even though the whole play gets blown up, Lamar Jackson is so great that he can make the play look like it never blew up. But sometimes he's not going to always be able to do it. You want him to put the cape on so much. I need the all 11 guys around me to do their jobs. If all the 11 guys on the field do their jobs, the plays work. But if that one person makes the mistake and messes up, it messes the whole play up. So that's the biggest issue. Daniel Falele is the weakest part of the offensive line right now. And every time he misses a block or makes a bad play on the offensive line, the whole play goes and crumbles. And then Lamar Jackson has to make a Superman play to make something happen. It should not have to be that way. My biggest thing is coaching at this point. What do
Mm.
we do as a coach? And you see this as a coach. Why are we not trying to find someone else to put on the line or try to put Daniel Falele in a better position to be better at what he's doing? That's my biggest question.
Sounds like we got a lot of issues. All right. So I'm gonna talk about our upcoming matchup here before we go on in our closing statements. We gotta go ahead and touch on pause Kansas City Chiefs, but the next three I wanted to specifically say. Of course, we got these Chiefs coming up. Then we got Houston, struggling Houston, but a hungry Houston at that. And then we got LA. So I'm talking shit like, oh yeah, we gotta beat on the teams we need to beat on, but shit, and pause on that all the way. But yeah, like I don't know. It don't look like it's getting any easier. So
It's
Kansas
not.
City Chiefs, man. How you feel? You think we can take these boys finally?
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is bad to say. The Ravens are gonna be 1-3 at the end of Sunday night. They're gonna
Mm,
be 1-3.
mm,
They're gonna be in a
mm.
situation where they didn't want to be at. I'm gonna be to be honest with you, Chase. The Ravens in the next 3 weeks are gonna be two. What's this? 2-6. Is that 2-6? Yeah. So they'll win. They'll lose this week. They'll win next week, and they'll lose to the Rams. So within the next 3 games, I'm saying, what's that? Two? Is that 2-6 or 2-5? Whatever it is, I don't see them. I just with that defense, I don't see them winning this Kansas City game. I just it's hard for me to see it. I believe Lamar, Derrick Henry, and all of them will show up.
That'd be
I
two and
believe.
four. 2 and 4.
Oh, two. Is it 2-4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I believe they're gonna be 2-4 with these next 3 games. I cannot see them beating the Rams or the Chiefs in this next 3 game spurt. Texans game, yeah, I see them beat them. Texans, they just that's a struggling football team. You know what I mean? They're gonna have a hard season. But for these next 3, the Chiefs game to me gives the Ravens trouble because they still have yet to prove that they can stop the run. And not only that, you're down 2 defensive linemen that's on IR. I'm pretty sure they said Kyle Van Noy practice, but I'm pretty sure Kyle Van Noy is not going to play on Sunday. Ronnie Stanley probably is not going to play on Sunday. You'll get Isaiah Likely back, but you're not going to get. He's probably not going to play the entire game, so you're going to get him from a little bit of portion of the game, but it still should be a factor. But getting Isaiah Likely back doesn't really change much for me because to me the offense is already dominant. My issue is this defense. They're dropping guys like flies. Now this week um you should see Jair Alexander come back, which to me is a plus for them, especially if Jair Alexander is healthy and he's ready to rock and roll and play at the format he's supposed to play. Because if the corners can really step up and shut down the passing game and allow the defense to get to the quarterback, it will be great. But the problem is for me, Shakes, even if the corners cover well, these guys still take forever and so long to get to the quarterback. But the weakest point on Kansas City offensive line is this rookie that they got that's playing tackle. Now, he's a good tackle, but he does a lot of holding and he makes mistakes here and there. To me, which is where the Ravens attack because Kansas City's weakest on their tackle ends. Their tackles are not great, and they do a lot of holding and they get a lot of penalties. So I believe if the corners can hold up, the Ravens should be able to try to get some type of pass rush. But if they can't get no pass rush in this game, it's going to be a long day. And Patrick Mahomes gets the ball out quick. It comes out fast and it comes out quick. I mean, you seen it last week when they played the Giants. That ball was coming out quick. But the difference was the Giants have pass rush and they was getting after him. That Giants pass rush
And
is good. That
and
Ravens
here's my
pass
thing.
rush ain't good.
And here's my thing. Right? You say that. And yes, I had a front row seat last week. I seen this shit. The thing is, yes, you're right. He got a quick release, right? But that wasn't what was killing us because, like you said, we got that pass rush. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was killing us. But what was really killing us is that we can't get this motherfucker down, bro. Pause. We just can't. He's slippery as hell. He's running all over the place like a chicken with his head cut off. The dude had 26 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
26 seconds to make a fucking pass.
Mm-hmm.
What? You can sit there and read a book in 26. What the fuck is we talking about? So
Mm-hmm.
if our pass rush was having that type of problem, I can only imagine the Ravens.
That's what I'm
It's gonna
saying.
be a long day.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And the Giants defensive line is 10 times better than the Ravens defensive line. You got you got 4 defensive linemen that can get pressure at any given time. I mean, Thibodeau was getting in there. In there. I seen him getting there. He was trying to wreak havoc in there. but it still wasn't enough to stop Patrick Mahomes. So you mean to tell me when you look at the Ravens defensive line, you see something better than that? I know I don't. I don't see it at all. So for me, I see the Ravens taking another loss this week, and they in a territory that where they didn't want to be at 1-3. And I'm pretty sure in their mind, when they started out the season, they thought they was gonna be 3-0 right now. They thought they was gonna beat Buffalo, get their revenge, come back and smack the Browns, which they did, and they thought that they would manhandle Detroit again. Well, guess what? They got a rude awakening. They sitting here 1-2, about to be 1-3 coming Sunday. It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's and I was sitting there saying that about the Giants. I wanted to take either one of those games with the Commanders or the Cowboys, and um and then that's when we faced the Chiefs. You know what I mean? So it's like we had to have one of those games, and then we didn't have to take none. So we going in that 0-2. Yeah, I mean, it didn't look good. So boom, go 0-3, and now we going with a quarterback change. Now with y'all, it's kind of the same shit. Or us as well. I'm gonna include us. But yeah, I mean, like motherfucking, we couldn't afford that Buffalo shit. We won that lick back, but even more so, if we definitely lost that game, we could not lose the Detroit game. We could not lose the Detroit game. It was either one of those we had to take to go on and then face Kansas City. Now you go in 1-2 to face Kansas City. Come on, bro. You don't want to face this team in desperation mode, bro. That's where the Giants was last week, and now the Ravens is in the same goddamn boat.
And I'm gonna tell you something else, Shakes. You lose this game on Sunday, remember that puts you back in the playoff seating. Because now, to remind you, you already lost to Buffalo, so you're behind Buffalo because they got the head to head over you. You lose Kansas City. Now Kansas City got the head to head over you too. So if the season was, let's just say it came out to be you three teams at the top, you know what I mean, with the same records or whatever, or somebody got close to the same record. Remember, that team got the head-to-head battle over you, so they're gonna be ahead of you because they beat you. So you already lost the battle to Buffalo because now Buffalo owns the head-to-head against you. So this is how crucial this game is right here. Like I hate to say it that way, but it's must win. And it's so early in the season, and people like it's early in the season. We still got a lot of games to play. No, this is a must-win situation because you lose to Kansas City, you done lost the upper hand battle on yourself because this was a game that it could come bite you later on when it comes down to playoff seeding. So it's very important that you try to win this game on Sunday. But I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's the implications of it, man. It's the implications of it. Oh
Yes,
man,
it's a huge game. It's a very big game. It's almost to the point, Shake. It's like a playoff type of game. That's how huge this game is.
okay. So before we get into closing statements, who should we look out for to have a big game? Who we need to have a big game for us to beat these Chiefs?
For this game, I'm gonna say you need for this game. It's not even a person. What you need for this game to to be a big, you need the pass rush to be huge in this game. I'm not. I don't care about the Ravens offense. The Ravens offense is gonna put up points. They're gonna be able to put up points regardless. They're gonna be able to find a way, no matter what the Chiefs do or how they pass rush, whatever they do. The Ravens are gonna figure out how to put points up on the Chiefs. I'm not worried about that. The problem with this thing, in order for you to win the game, you need your pass rush. So basically, you need your back end to work with your front end. So you need your back end to cover, and you need your front end to get to the quarterback. You need to be able to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. If you want to do his short, quick stuff, you need to be up there tackling and on top of it. If you want to throw quick, as soon as the person get the ball, hit them immediately, or be right there to knock the ball out of their hands. But you have to put the pressure on Patrick Mahomes and make it hard for him. The same way Philadelphia did it in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia did it during the season. They gave you the blueprint how to beat this team. You have to have the pressure to shut this team down. If not, it's going to be a long day, and you're going to see another loss for the Ravens, and you're going to have another team that's going to put up 30 to 40 points on this defense.
Yeah, that's not good to motherfucking have a bad defense against these motherfuckers. Here, bro. I'm thinking, what's the rookie name again, man? The pass rusher, Mike.
Mike Green,
Yeah, Mike Green. That and those who don't know, this kid, um, he was a highly scouted guy. Just he had off field trouble, so he had fell down on the draft. But I believe we still took him in the second round. So that tells you like, you know what I mean, how good this kid really is. For him to have the off field issues, and we talking about some real off field issues, which he, you know what I mean, he got rid of, and he, to his credit, but there was some real concerns for these teams that he fell out the first round. But once he hit that second round, I believe, I think it was the second or third round, either one, they took that man early. So yes, this dude has a lot of potential, and I think this is the game for him to show it, bro. If we need that pass rush, he has that opportunity right now. He got a few games under his belt. I believe this is his game right here to make a name for himself.
I'm gonna be
Uh,
honest with you. When I watch the tape, I hate to say it, and I want people to understand the expectations on these players. But Mike Green is not gonna be who you want him to be until a year or two. This year, for me, Mike Green is not gonna give you the production that you want. When you watch the tape and you watch how he plays, he's not there yet. Mike Green is thinking more than he's playing football, and you can see it. And you gotta remember, as a rookie, you gotta those guys they think a lot instead of just reacting and making plays. So basically, what I'm saying is Mike Green not playing fast right now. He's doing more thinking than just playing fast, and he's not in that mode yet of playing fast. So I think this year, I know people going to be upset about it. You know, this wasn't a great pick, but I'm gonna just say give it a year or two because I don't. You're not gonna get the production that you want out of him this year. What you've seen, he's got to learn the system, and he's got to learn how to play the game in the NFL. And not only that, he's got to put some weight on. He's got to get a lot stronger, and it's just you just gotta you gotta be patient with this cat. I think he can give you what you want, but you gotta have some patience. And I just think this year is not the year of him going to be the player that everybody wants him to be. He's not playing fast yet. You just got. I mean, I watched a lot of film on him from just last week against the Lions because he had a lot of time and a lot of tape on there, and he's thinking too much, and he's not playing fast, and his movements the left tackle or the right tackle, what side he lined up on, man, they was just gobbling him gobbling him up. He didn't make good movements. So he's thinking a lot. So he gotta be patient with the guy because he need time. But you don't have to be patient with 99 because he's still not showing up. So and 99 been in the league for how long? So it's a difference. I just think that he's thinking a lot and he needs some time.
I feel you, and I do see that as well. But the thing about what I'm saying is like, and everything. Let me say it before I say this. Everything that you just said is correct, but there is a game that comes along where it clicks for this player. It just clicks, and he has that monster game, and he rides that momentum going forward. Um, I can remember just going back, me being a Giant fan. OCU Minora, perfect guy coming out of Troy. I believe it was Troy. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But coming out of Troy, it just he had a lot of talent, but he was raw. Still had a lot to learn, and it just he was learning under these guys like Michael Strahan and all that. So he was getting good tutelage, but you can tell he was still raw going through the season. It was a game where it just clicked and he just went off and he rode that wave ever since. And to me, maybe I'm just a creature of fucking history, but that's what I can see for Mike Green because this kid does have loads of talent. But like you said, he is thinking a lot because a lot of shit is coming at him uh, way too fast, way too fast. But if it can just slow down for him and it just clicks, he can have that game of his life and he can ride that wave going forward.
Yeah,
That's
I
me.
just yeah that Detroit game was a lot for him. You know what I mean? This is like his first really full time start, and he played a lot of snaps. You know, you were down Kyle Van Noy, so some of your pass rush was gone. So it was a hard game for him. You know what I mean? And it was just an adjustment period. And I just think that Detroit, they was double team blocking the defensive tackles and the tack. So they were double teaming the defensive tackles, and then the tackles on the outside were just manhandling our edge rushers. You know, Mike Green out he was just getting manhandled. So every time they run the football, it was easy for them because they would just dominate. You know what I mean? So when you got a vested player, to me, like if you had a healthy Kyle Van Noy out there, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Than the movements that they were making against Mike Green. Your pressure packages will be a lot better because he's more of a savvy vet and you know how to get through those type of movements and know how to maneuver his body. Mike Green's still learning that. That's what I'm saying. But it's not to say that he couldn't have a blow up game. It's just that when I watched the tape, he got his game. It's week what? We week 3. I'm gonna say let's see what he looked like mid season. I think he still needs some time.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, you know, I'm just wishful, hopefully wishing. You know what I'm saying? Because we desperately do need pass rushing, and this was the guy that we drafted for him to help in that area. Again, I'm not the type of guy that likes to throw rookies to the wolves, as I call it. Um, I think a lot of times that their eyes be so wide open and they you
Yep.
know what I mean, it's just so much coming too fast, pause. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, that you know, you're thinking so much that you don't want to make the mistake so much that you're not really playing your ball. You're thinking,
Exactly.
I don't want to mess up, I don't want to mess up so much that you're not being that player that got you drafted in the second round. You know what I'm saying?
But but
But
I,
yeah.
and I feel you. But it's not me beating up. I think Mike Green gonna be great. I just think he need time. But in all fairness, Shakes, Mike Green had the problem of the issue. The issue is number 99. He's the biggest problem. He's getting nothing, and he's been here too long to be getting nothing. 99 can't get sacks by himself. He needs some blitzing or some other type of movement to be able to get him in a space to get sacks. He can't make his own movements to get a sack of his own. He can't do what Kyle Van Noy do to get his own sacks. And that's the problem. That's the issue. Why do I have to help you get a sack when you should be able to get your own sack? That's the issue. So you got a young rookie that's playing on one side, and you got 99 on the other side, and we're expecting Mike Green to do something. No, let's put the expectations on 99, who's been here several years and hasn't done anything to get to that point at all this season. I don't even think he has a sack this year at all. So like that's the main problem. The issue is 99. Where have you been at? It's been 3 weeks now, and I haven't seen your face. I haven't seen you touch the quarterback. And like you said, it's hard to bring Patrick Mahomes down. So what makes me think this week it's going to be easier for him to get to Patrick Mahomes and bring him down?
Mm, mm.
That's to me, that's the bigger problem. Take Mike Green out of it. To me, Mike Green is doing what I expected him to do in the first 3 weeks of the season. He's learning the game of the NFL. I have not put no pressure on him at this moment. If he make plays, that's great. But if he's not making plays, he's got to get his feet wet. 99, you ain't gotta get your feet wet no more. Where have you been? Where? That's the person I'm calling out. Kyle Van Noy down, so who gonna step up? 99, you gonna step up or you gonna do the same thing you do every week?
Oh wow.
That's the problem.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and guess what? And guess what, Shakes? He's in a contract year. So you want to get paid, but this the way you think you're gonna get paid?
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah. I don't see him getting paid here. Not with the production that he's bringing.
I mean, he shouldn't. He
No way.
shouldn't.
He don't
I
have not one sack.
I
Not
seen
one.
high potential for him drafting him, but like you said, I ain't see. Did he get a double digit sack season yet?
He had double digits last year. He got double digits last year because Kyle Van Noy was going off, and guess what? They were helping him get sacks. They were doing stunts and all these type of things, and that's how he was picking up his sacks. Remember, Kyle Van Noy had like 13 or 14 sacks last year, and then I think by the last game of the season, he finally got 10 sacks.
That's
Took
crazy.
him. Yeah, I mean, he's not the pass rusher that you think that everybody thinks he is. He's not him. You miss the Ravens miss having a Terrell Suggs on their defense. They don't have that. They don't. They don't have a guy that can take over the game in the pass rushing game and make a play, get a sack fumble. They don't have a T.J. Watt. They don't have one of them on their defense. They just don't have it. And they're rushed by committee type of defense, whereas though they have to, use each other to get sacks because they don't have that guy.
That's wild, son.
Yeah. And it's showing. It's been 3 weeks. I guarantee you the Ravens are at the bottom of the league in sacks. I, I guarantee they are. It's just not good, man. It's not good. And Kyle Van Noy being out hurts even more because he was your guy that get you your sacks, and now you don't have him on the field. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, Shakes. I don't know. This is tough. This is tough.
It is. All right. I know you gotta go ahead and get to the 9 to 5. So let me go ahead and get this closing statement from you. Let's get up out of here, and we'll be back. Well, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah. So for this week against Chiefs, um, like I said, the biggest issue for me is can the defensive line get pressure, and can the back end of the defense hold serve? Can we get better production out of Marlon Humphrey because he was horrible last week, but he got cooked pretty bad. He got cooked pretty bad. Can Jair Alexander come in, get these guys a boost? Um, Again, Malachi Starks, he's a rookie too. He had his mistakes and his bumps and his bruises, but you're starting to see it because he's a rookie. Kyle Hamilton, you say we spoiled. Well, can you actually help the defense show up? And then not only that, Roquan, do you play football? Looking at the tape, man, you was the worst thing on the field last week. I mean, you was just bad, bad, bad. I need the Roquan Smith that we had against the Cleveland Browns. That's the Roquan Smith we need to show up. So for me, Shakes, on this game, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm saying the score will be. Last week I was close. I think last week I said what, like 36-30. So the final score was 38-30 last week. So I'm gonna say Kansas City 31, Ravens 26.
Wow. Um, that's crazy, bro. But I think We are a hungry team. We need this win. Desperation meter is very high, um, especially for Lamar Jackson. I believe that looking at the other sideline, at that guy with rings and jewelries and all these nice things, I think that Lamar Jackson is a little bit jealous. I think he's a little bit jealous. And I think he wants to beat this guy. Pause. He wants to beat this guy more than anybody he ever wanted to beat. Pause in his life. So to my point, that I felt like he took himself out of who he was a couple seasons ago when they lost to Patrick Mahomes. I didn't feel like he was being who he needed to be. Who that MVP that season. The guy that got them to where they was at that point with the AFC Championship. He he was really trying to outdo that guy on the other sideline, and it cost him. So I believe that he's a little bit jelly, and I believe that that guy on the other sideline is in this boy's head. Pause. Man, that whole phrase was crazy. But anyway, right? But regardless, right? I get my point across. And my point is that when you have that, you want to um, go over and beyond and go ahead and win. You got that competitive nature in you. Like, yo, I need to beat this guy. Pause. I got to win. I have to win. I never did. I gotta win. And I think he gets it in this game. Now, I think it's on the flip side where we losing close games. I feel like we win this close game. So my final score is 42-40.
Wow, that's a lot of scoring.
Yeah, it is a lot scoring. I don't think it's just going to be a duel. It's going to be a duel, and I think Lamar Jackson wins this one. All right. So last week I think I said 42-24 Ravens, and I was totally fucking wrong. So
I was a lot closer. I was a lot closer. I think I was
yeah,
like I said 30 to 36 or something. I picked.
yeah, it was definitely close. I don't know what it is with this 42 thing. Shout out to Jackie Robinson, but I think that, you know what I'm saying, we're
I
gonna get
mean,
this
I
42.
get you. The Ravens scored 40 points in 2 games already, so I get you. I see why you called that 40 because they've been putting up points. They definitely been putting up points.
Yes, sir. We just gotta
That's why I
stop.
said they can score. I don't. The scoring to me for them is not an issue. It's the stopping.
Right,
Can you get a stop?
right. Um, and that's the thing. Like you said, we got hopefully Jair coming back, and then we got ball hawking DBs like Wiggins and stuff like that. So if we can get an interception, I think it can turn the game around. But we'll see, man. To me, I think it's just gonna be a duel, and I want to watch it. I'm gonna be right there, front row center. So we're gonna talk about it next week. I want to say shout outs to ABSN. Uh, I'm definitely gonna throw this episode up on y'all channel as well. But yeah, man, shit, man. I had some issues with StreamYard, man. Yeah, I mean, dang, I'm gonna give y'all money. Damn, bro, they like some bad drug dealers, bro. They like trying to pay me, dog. They didn't even let me get my intro out, bro. Like, wow, like that's crazy work. All right, I'm gonna pay y'all. Damn, shit. All right, but shout outs to my boy Ghost Dog, man, for all the production work he has done for the show as well. And shoot, shout outs to my boy, my co-host King Pope. We'll be back next week, Friday. I know we did this a little bit late on Saturday, but try to make it a weekly thing. And so we on the road here 3 weeks straight. So we're gonna make it for next week. You dig? So y'all join us again next week. You know what I mean? Shakes Montana Entertainment. That's one word. Shakes Montana Entertainment on YouTube. ABSN on YouTube. That's Aboriginal Sports Network. Um, And yeah, shout outs to everybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got, man. That's all I got. And we'll be back
Hopefully,
next week.
hopefully we don't. Hopefully, when we come back next week, we won't be 1-3.
Can't be, bro. Can't be. Let's go for the 2-2, y'all. Let's go for the 2-2. You know what I'm saying? Better show, man. Better vibes next week, man. But still great show. And we'll be back next week, man. And like I always say around this time, shout outs to the old crew. Shout outs to the new crew. Shout outs to you. We'll be back next week. Good night. Damn, can't even give me my outro neither. Damn, that's crazy.